Jamie?
Be advised that proper notice has been given by the Township Council in accordance with the sunshine law in the following manner. Notice advertising of Burlington Times is given in the Post on January 4th, 2019, and posted on the bulletin board on the state date. Mr. Lyon?
Here.
Mr. Romando?
Here.
Ms. Correa?
Here.
Mr. Burrell?
Here.
Mr. Ketchum?
Here. So we have several items on our action meeting agenda. Looking for a motion authorizing the payment of bills, including all purchases made under the cooperative purchasing agreement.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Lyon?
Aye.
Mr. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Ketchum?
Aye. Now we have an ordinance on first reading. This is ordinance 2019-16. This is an ordinance establishing the inclusionary development 2, that's ID-2 district in block 65 lot 1801. That's Abrasive Alloy. What was the former Abrasive Alloys lot.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Lyon?
Aye.
Mr. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Ketchum?
Aye. Next, we have ordinance 2019-17. This is an ordinance establishing the Affordable Housing District AH in block 125, lot 14. Which property is that?
The first one, this is Abrasive Alloys.
This is.
Yeah, you just had
The
them.
first one wasn't it.
Atlantic Hill.
Okay. My mistake. I switched it. Okay, so the first one was Atlantic Delta. This one is Abrasive Alloys. This is block 125, lot 14.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Lyon?
Aye.
Mr. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Ketchum?
Aye. Now we have resolutions. First is Resolution 2019-141. And this is a resolution establishing salaries for various employees of the township of Delran.
Motion. Second.
Mr. Lyon?
Aye.
Mr. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Ketchum?
Aye. Next is Resolution 2019-142. This is a resolution refunding deposits for road opening permits.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Lyon?
Aye.
Mr. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Ketchum?
Aye. Next is Resolution 2019-143. This is a resolution authorizing the release of the maintenance bond for Simon & Schuster, Inc.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Lyon?
Aye.
Mr. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Ketchum?
Aye. All right, so next is Resolution 2019-144, and there's been an addition to that as well. This is the authorizing executive session to discuss the following 4 items. One is contract negotiations for the Delran Sergeants Association. The second is litigation regarding Verizon versus Hopewell Township. Third is negotiation with the Delran Land Investment Hartford Road wet tap. And fourth is a follow-up for the property acquisition that we discussed last month.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Lyon?
Aye.
Mr. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Ketchum?
Aye.
I asked if the Hartford Road wet tap is the last one of those 4 when you discuss them.
Yeah. we can do that. Yeah, sure. Next is Resolution 2019-145. This is a resolution authorizing the award of a non-fair and open contract for affordable housing administrative agent services.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Lyon?
Aye.
Mr. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Ketchum?
Aye. So now we get to our work session agenda, and first is discussion of the capital budget. I'm just going to get through this to get to that. Was there a resolution for one? No. Okay. Trying to get to capital budget items. Okay. Jeff, do you want to lead the discussion here?
First of all, I was not at the last meeting, but from my understanding of the discussion that took place, is there were some questions about the impact on the budget. Is that, or are we going back over all the items again? because we've done it.
I think we were just looking at, just impact on the budget, you know.
All right. Let me bring one thing to your attention that kind of ties in with this, is that we've been working for approximately the last 8 months, putting together the debt service package to go to bond sale with all of our temporary debt. We have almost $11 million in notes that have to go to permanent financing. Last year, we put into the budget funds for the temporary notes in an amount that would allow this year's bond sale, if it comes in at the rate that the financial advisors believe it will, there should be no increase in taxes on debt service for that bond sale. So that's the good news. This would have minimal effect, if any, depending on how you want to deal with the capital budget. If essentially for one particular year you don't want to have a significant impact, and we'll go out to notes, and we only have to take a portion of the debt and pay it the first year. There's basically a 10-year amount where you have to hit certain percentages. So you basically have 10 years to kind of work that in. And what we've always tried to do here is to work with the debt service so it doesn't significantly impact the tax rate. And that's what we did coming into this year. Otherwise, you would have had a significant increase with the bond sale. But the way we did it last year and what it's looking like this year should be fine. It should be smooth. It should dovetail in exactly. So at most, there might be a $20,000 increase, which is 1/7 of a penny, if you just take the minimal payback for the first year.
Great.
Number one, a lot of these items, it takes a while for them to come in, so we don't borrow the money until we need it. So some of it will even probably get done during 2019, is my guess. Some of the equipment takes some we order it. You have to go out and bid on some of them. It takes a long time for them to come in.
Okay. So this is for, we're talking now about the debt that we've accumulated, right?
Well, that's what I was talking about before. Now I'm talking about these items.
Okay.
The debt you accumulated, you shouldn't see any increase
Okay.
on that one because of the way we work the debt service out. On this one, you'll have a minimal increase in year one. Like I said, maybe $20,000, something along those lines. It won't be significant.
And that would be, if we did all this.
Yeah, again, it's paying the absolute minimum. I mean, some of these things aren't going to even happen. Like St. Mike meal outfall needs to be done. You guys have probably all seen that project. It's something that needs to be done. It's $250,000. It's the most significant one. I'm guessing by the time you get out and it's hit back in, we're talking next year for construction. Yeah. So, things like that, it'll be slow coming. Yeah. So it's just to get some of those things started. But yeah, it'll be minimal.
Yes, Tom?
Did Jeremy give us something on the cooling?
Yeah, he did last
Yeah,
meeting.
he gave like about a 1 sentence there. He believes he can hold off for another year.
Okay, I just wanted, I thought I remember him
Yeah,
saying.
that one, actually, on mine, I'm sorry, I have that one crossed out, I assume.
Okay, it's still on mine. I knew we had talked about blowing that off.
Right.
for-
Is there anything else that has changed in the conversation? Just making sure that we're all on the same page.
Now, the only thing I want to say is about the outfalls. Like, yeah, that was probably the worst one in town, but you have like around 100 outfalls, and the DEP is starting to get on us about maintaining them and upgrading them, and we looked at a lot of them. So you're going to see over the next 5-10 years projects that we're going to be recommending where you start addressing a lot of these outfalls. And these are a restored source system, discharges into streams or waterways, and they're 50, 60, 75 years old in a lot of cases, and they're starting to erode, pipes hanging in the air, and the DEP with their stormwater permits are cracking down on the inspections and making sure you upgrade them to kind of prevent siltation and provide water quality. So
I remember talking about this, I just don't remember exactly where this is. Where is this one?
This one is down, it's actually a private home that goes through the driveway. It was an easement that the township back in the, I believe it was the 70s, started putting in storm systems and didn't realize they didn't have anywhere for an outfall. And they ended up having to negotiate with an individual that had a marina, and there's a big house, kind of
Yeah.
Spanish style.
It's kind of across from Main and Chestnut on the other
Right,
side, we go
okay.
straight out.
So
This is
there's
coming back now.
there's actually an agreement in place stating that the township has to maintain that. That was part of the deal when they allowed the easement to go through the property. It's the township, and it's probably not been knocking on the door for about the last 5 years to get this done, because it's starting to
Erode.
erode.
The area around the outfall, the end of the pipe's collapsing a little bit, and the area around it's sort of like falling.
Okay.
It's not like imminent, but it needs to be addressed.
Do we outsource all that, or do we do some of it ourselves with our
That
personnel?
would be out. So
Well, I know that one would be outsourced, but the other ones that are going to need to be done.
I mean, typically, I think it all be done outsourced. I don't know if the DPW has that capability to kind of, I mean, if they can, we'll review it with them. You know, some of it might be able to be done but they get complicated because they all need permits. So you might be able to get a permit for like a group of, like, we gotta organize them all, give you a list, what's most pending, what's long-term, short-term, nature of the repair, and then
I
figure
know,
out how the
yeah.
best way to do the projects. Because there are things that DPW probably do, some things a contractor would need to do.
There are some municipalities, most of them are larger staffs. They have guys that know how to do that and have done them before, and they save some money by doing it in-house, but they're usually bigger, they have a bigger DPW than what we're looking at. So I'm just curious
Yeah.
what we're at.
Are they all about this amount of money?
No,
This one?
no, this is probably one of the more.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I mean, there's a lot of them, probably like $10,000 here, $20,000 there, and that's what
Okay.
you probably want, you'd want to group them all into like one miscellaneous outfall improvement projects and start attacking with the list, what the DPW couldn't handle. Yeah.
And at the last meeting, at least that I was at, I think there was a question as to whether you wanted the painting of the municipal building in here. I remember that coming up.
Such a negligible amount.
This is the 75,
Yes.
and that's just the exterior?
Yes.
I don't know, do we need to do it? Is it-
Match the roof. You're gonna, what, shave off 70 out of $1 million?
Yeah.
You know, if we're gonna start cutting, let's do some serious cutting, or we just do it.
I do want to throw that, it's more just painting, there's like, a lot of the ephes is cracked, and there's mold and stuff that would be addressed as part of that project, but, I mean, it's not like it's
So we have.
critical, but it's more than just painting the colors.
We have.
There's maintenance work that needs to be done with the painting project, what you would do with painting.
So it's just not 75,000 for slap roads of paint, it's also maintenance and repairs.
Yeah,
and-
repairs to the existing, yeah.
There's a number of different surfaces around the building.
Yeah.
But, some of them, I don't know, I forget what the one material is called. but it's
Ethos?
there was another name.
There's
as
concrete
well.
block, there's
There was that
there's-
spray on stuff that's around the pillars, and they're kind of hollow.
Like stucco type stuff?
It looks like stucco.
So, anyway, we just did the roof, and if this is gonna help seal up and protect and make sure that the whole inside is protected, sounds like it makes sense to do that. I mean,
Yeah, it just,
You
it
have to
seems like it's,
maintain the property.
right, it's kind of just to finish up that whole roof project, exterior. Right, Jim, you said it's a good characterization.
Okay.
Throw the carpet while you're at it. Carpet be fine, but that's beside the point.
Okay. All right, anybody else have any questions?
I think we're good, we talked about
So-
all the items in nausea before, so.
So what do we need to do anything tonight? Take any
Just
action?
if you authorize me to go to the bond council, I'll have the bond council put together the bond package on it, and we'll have it ready for your next public meeting.
Okay.
Thanks, Jim.
I don't think I can get a You want to take a
Similar
look?
copies,
Maybe it'll cost us
some of the pages.
$15. I'm gonna help you.
Okay. So next is a grass cutting. Is there anything other than you just need to run it by us?
No, you
This
just
is
need
on
to take
Friday.
action and authorize it.
19 Freck. So we could do that by resolution or by a motion?
You've done it by resolution.
Do we need to do that tonight?
It would be nice, yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a while.
Do you have a number?
146.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2019-146 to authorize the grass cutting for 19 Freck Avenue.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Lyon?
Aye.
Mr. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Petrowitz?
Aye.
Jim, you have a form resolution that you use for
Okay. Next is the community park netting.
It was actually in the capital, so you forward on it, but the netting, you already received the funds from the insurance from when we had the ice storm. So that's actually in the surplus. So basically, we just want to touch base on those that in order to get it repaired, first we have to put in capital like you authorized tonight, and then you have to go out to bid. You want to make any comments on the plan itself, or?
Well, the plan is pretty much the original installation plan. I mean, if you wanted to change it, it would be additional cost to that, but right now it's to put back up the horizontal and vertical nets.
Right. And we're going to take them down for the winter? Are we going to do that? I mean, was
There's
that
no
in
plan to
the-
put in a pulley system or anything like that. I can, get quotes from, different vendors on to be able to take it down. I don't think that's something DPW can handle.
I just don't, if it's
Like for,
$50,000 a year, I don't want to have to replace them every year.
right, yeah.
Then maybe we have to entertain like a pulley system or something, because the cost of paying somebody to take it down, put it up, take it down, put it up.
What Esham did was they had a similar design of horizontal and vertical nets, and they just scrapped the horizontal and put up taller vertical nets with a pulley system. But that was around like $200,000. But it's the same field layout and design.
Jim, was this, I know it was the storm that caused this to collapse. Is that like a freak thing? Or are other people having the problems? Is this a once in a lifetime?
It's
thing,
not
or
going
is
to
it
be
something we
a
have to
once in a
plan for
lifetime
every
thing.
5
If you
years?
have a certain snow load with, that type of snow event, I mean, it could happen again. I mean, the warranty's only for like 3 years, and then if you have a certain snow, that sticks to the netting, it's,
I mean, I will say this, that when we reported it to the mail, there were probably half a dozen communities that had the same issue. It's the first time they've ever seen it playing. And I don't know how long they've been around, but the Bell's been around 30 years. It was the first time they've ever seen it playing like that, and there were at least a half a dozen when I called in.
But if you believe in climate change, it could happen a lot more.
There was a lot happening that didn't need to happen.
Exactly.
So, is there a way that wouldn't be the Mac Daddy $200,000 pulley system? Is there a way to do like something that's put up in the spring and taken down in the fall?
With the system the
not,
way it's
not
now?
a pulley, that's just something that's, I mean, I don't
I
know,
mean,
what's the
you
installation?
would have to get, a contractor in here with the proper equipment and vehicles and to get up there and take down all the clips and.
Can you get us an estimate for
Yeah.
that?
I mean, Jim,
Because you guys don't need to make that decision tonight, you still have to go
Yeah.
through.
I mean, the only thing that needs to come down is the horizontal,
Correct.
right? Because the vertical
The vertical
Fine, so it's
usually
just-
survives.
over the walkways.
Yeah.
It's cheaper than a dome. So maybe we look at being able to just
Yeah.
take off the horizontal. I mean, is this
Which one is
the
that?
install? This is install too. What is this here?
There's two quotes you have. One is for the replacement on the netting. There's also poles that need to be repaired. There's one pole that was like bent a little bit, not bent, but it was shifted.
Yeah.
That needs to be reset and concrete in place, and there's another couple poles that just need to be set. So there's two separate quotes. I don't know if it's possible to move forward on the smaller one, at least we can get him to fix those posts.
Yeah, we probably could do that from existing operating funds, because that was like 3,500.
It's $5,000.
Yeah, it's 45.
I would look at that one.
Yeah, this is,
Yeah, I gave you a new one, he gave me an updated quote yesterday, because the first one was like from last year.
Too low.
But yeah, I mean, if we could at least get the posts on, I don't know, or if that's what it has to wait, but, and then I can work on seeing what it would take to get a quote to have it take it down every year, the horizontal.
Are we planning on putting this up this year when the season's over already, or almost over, or are we gonna wait till next year? Because it may pay to at least wait.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like that it makes, don't put it up this year, because, yeah, you don't have fall for it.
Right. They may, but it's, I mean,
You have baseball all year round. I think the travel teams and stuff, just like soccer.
well, you're gonna put it up then for a couple months, because then you're gonna have it down for.
I mean,
It's
that
gonna
might
be a
make
while
sense.
till we get there anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you
Yeah,
have to
that first and
just
second,
do
the
the
bottom
bond
was
ordinance
20
and
days.
So, it's gonna cost that kind of money, $47,000 to put it up for 2 months.
That's a quote that he gave me, so I don't know.
I know,
if it
I'm
comes
just
into
saying.
it.
So,
right, that's
He's gonna look
not,
into the
there is the
horizontal.
install, that's.
I just found out there is a vendor that has a state contract for catapult protection, I think, but that's for the vertical. I can get a price from him.
All right, so,
Can we do just the vertical and then worry about the horizontal later?
Yeah.
Or are they kind of all,
No, they're.
to me, the horizontal is the main issue, because that's the stuff that keeps coming back.
The only thing with
That
the
causes-
vertical, the vertical nets, you'll have to go higher, so we'll need new posts for that. With the horizontal, you don't have to go as high with the vertical, with the sides, because you have the covers across. So if you're going vertical and you just want to do that, then you're not gonna go horizontal.
Well, I mean, like, just put up, keep it at current specs, and then just figure out a solution that we can take off, either take off the horizontal, or a pulley or something that, you know, because that's, the vertical,
Just
we have no
horizontal.
problems with. It's just we need,
Couldn't we just build
That
an
might not.
arbor?
well, it's safety netting, so.
build a
it's-
what?
Build an arbor, something out of wood.
yeah,
You
but
know,
Let me ask you a question, can we,
Like
and
that.
what you're saying, Tyler, I agree with, the horizontal, we can always worry about later. But even, like, maybe even for the fall, we could always just put up the horizontal, the vertical as well, just because that's a main feature of people not getting hit on the side rather than going up. And then later on, we can do the horizontal next year, and we can think about the best way to do it.
Well, I was regardless.
Yeah.
So I mean, just whatever else.
That's not,
I think we
there's
should,
still a danger of
There's
this.
gaps.
No, I agree, there's a danger of going above, but I mean, that's pretty high, isn't it?
Yeah, most of the verticals there.
It goes without saying, you will be paying a contractor to show up twice and mobilize.
but why don't you, I think we should let Jim come up with a plan and figure out, with Jim and Jeff, figure out what the best options are. Because right now, we're just,
Yeah. And we need to find out what that cost would be to take it out.
I'll find out.
Because I mean, the difference between $50,000 and $150,000 buys a lot of that.
yeah.
Okay.
You guys will come back to us.
Yeah.
Okay. Word has it that the bids came back.
Yeah, we received the bids today for the 2019 road program. They were higher than anticipated. We did get 3 bidders. I mean, they're quality contractors. It's over budget, even with the deletion items. So, I mean, it looks like the course of action we had to take, because to get it within budget is to reject the bids and rebid immediately, and we'll have to restructure it. We probably have to add in an additional deletion item, which would be one more. Diane, unfortunately not Diane. We're also gonna look into, possibly reducing some quantities. Like there's just some curb and sidewalk, tree removal, get away with trying to, do some cost savings with, salvaging some of the improvements that are out there.
we think rebidding is gonna,
We could rebid
Or is
this,
it just
yeah,
gonna come back
I
the
think
same?
with eliminating Diane as a deletion, we'll definitely get it within budget. And by restructuring and reevaluating some of the improvements shown on the plans then as far as concrete sidewalks, concrete curbing, replacing, I mean, it will rely on, it will involve relying on some of the existing improvements out there. The main priority is just getting the road resurfaced. Ideally, we'd like to get a lot of deficient curbing that's associated with the road replaced too, but if we can't, get it with budget, we can get it with budget.
why was it so high?
I think it's just a lot of bids have been coming in high lately, a lot of these types of projects, the time of year, all these contractors are busy. I think a lot, in our engineer's estimate, I think there was a couple line items we probably undercut, not, they were a little bit too on our engineer's estimate, but I think it's that combined with just the market right now, the bids are coming in a little high. I know the county just received bids on the Rancocas Trail that came in higher than we anticipated, that they anticipated. It's unfortunate, but, yeah, I think we're, clearly I clearly, think we need to go back out and just try to restructure a little bit, get it to a point where it's within your budget.
Right. So it looks like, I mean, it's only, looks like it's not even a 2%. We're off by 2%. it looks like.
If you enacted the deletion items, it's at 10 million, it's $1,040,000, and your budget's $1 million.
Right,
And granted, that's with the loss of those two roads, Willis and Link.
right. All right, well, it sounds to me like we have to go out to bid, and you'll work some.
You'll have to have a resolution on next Tuesday rejecting the bids, and then we'll re-advertise shortly.
Can we just reject right now?
I don't think.
If we go out to bid again, what is the turnaround time, and will we still be in the window of getting these done?
We're running late this year. Is there 2 workshops in August?
No,
There's just a 4th
no,
one?
so here's the deal. Next week would have been a work session anyway.
Next week
Following
would be
week-
public hearing.
Right, the following week is Delran Night Out. So we would be the 13th before the public meeting, and then the 20th, it'd be a month that we'd be behind.
We would ask that if we could award on the 27th then.
There's no reason we couldn't reject these bids tonight, right?
It's over budgeted.
Over budget, we
Yeah.
don't have an option.
That's really.
budget, then that's fine.
I mean, even with the deletion items out, it's over budget.
Yeah, that's not gonna change
No.
whether or not you, we're still gonna have to award on the 27th, if that's okay, awarding on a work session. We'll say we'll do that.
I would do it tonight.
Well, if we reject them tonight and they go back out, will we have them back and be able to award on the 27th?
Yes. Whether you reject it, honestly, whether you reject it tonight or reject it next Tuesday. It's
We
not-
don't have there is no
We don't
next
have a meeting
Tuesday.
next
Oh, I apologize, yeah, you're right, sorry.
There is no, we don't have another meeting for
All right, reject it.
3 weeks.
It helps here.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be a little weird having a rebid and the first one is not rejected yet.
Yeah, so, motion,
Reject all bids.
right. Resolution,
It would be a resolution. Jamie, again, do you have a form that you work with that you
Yep.
use in the past?
147, I'm guessing? Okay, I have a resolution 2019-147 to reject all bids for the road program and rebid it.
I moved, then Mike seconded.
And for the reason it's being rejected, the reason all bids are being rejected
Is
is,
because it's over budget. I have a motion from Tyler. Mike seconded?
yes.
Mr. Lyon?
Aye.
Mr. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Patrick?
Aye.
The only question I have, Jim, I know you sent that letter out to the residents, did it specify a date or anything?
Like I say, fall. So we'll
We're just gonna have to notify eventually if we do delete those deletion items, we don't want.
We didn't notify them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
We don't want to.
so you didn't, I'm just trying to.
So those 2 roads we did not notify.
Okay, good. Okay, because it looks like we're not gonna get it this year. Okay. So the issue that we're discussing was for using a crown amp. Did that come from us?
Yeah.
Yeah, that we were using crown amp instead of a Penton amp.
What's the difference?
I think the difference is, I've only been in the business 46 years, never heard of a Penton brand amplifier, and Crown is the best you can get. So his issue was, as I recall, was that there's only one input in the Crown, and that basically he's using this as a mixer and as a amplifier. It's not like we're this is doing sound for the Wells Fargo Center. So, you know, I don't know, I always find that if you buy the best stuff, it lasts longer and delivers the performance you want. Do we go with the vendor at the Penton, and if it stinks, we complain?
Yeah. The crown is gonna cost triple the amount.
Yeah.
And the inputs they want. So let's just go with,
And
sure, yeah. Yeah, whatever the vendor recommends.
he's accountable, right? He's responsible.
Got it in about 300 pounds.
No, I'm just saying, no, I mean, he's gonna be responsible, so that's a good thing, I mean.
Yeah, that's fine.
He puts him on the,
Yeah, it's his problem.
It is a common problem, yeah.
What's that, that the audio system never works?
Every time there are mic issues. No matter
Take it
what
back.
you do.
They're like, you have to talk directly into them, people don't realize that, so they just talk around them and everything picks up.
Right. And this has the microphones that you can turn on and off?
The one estimate's a little higher does, yes. It has exactly, it has the light, it has, you can control, you hit a button when you want to speak, otherwise you turn it off so it's not picking up noise. And the speaker or the council president, the planning board chairman, whatever, can control if somebody gets out of order, can control it from that spot. Can control the rest of it.
I say we go with it. No, I'm, you know,
You sort of tell from your seat.
yeah, so which happens.
Will there be electric volts in the seats or anything?
That's an upgrade.
There's a cone of silence option, but we opted out of that. So bottom line is, are we approving this today? It was just that issue that was the,
Yeah, part of it is gonna be in capital. I have to see, go back now and see, because we tied this in. We had some money last year for that system. But we need to get the court system in for that part of the visual thing as soon as possible, because that whole issue needs to be addressed. So let me go back and take a look whether or not, we're not gonna lose any time. I told him I'd get back to him and then talk to him and see how we're gonna move forward. If the funds are in place from last year's, are you comfortable with that system that we just talked about?
you know, I don't, yeah, I mean.
That's with the cameras and all that, right?
Well,
Or
the
is that
cameras and all
separate?
that's in capital.
Right.
So this
That
is
you
just-
approved tonight, so that's in there, but that's gotta wait for capital for sure.
Cameras, TVs.
So you're saying we're just approving
Sounds
the,
good.
is,
Sound system.
Oh,
oh, I thought.
For tonight, because we have that from last year's money. actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
so we can't.
That's the new
approve all of it?
microphones.
No, we don't.
You're not there yet, you know, if you want to, you can,
No, no,
but we haven't even done the capital ordinance.
Okay, so let's just, what do we need to do to approve the court portion of this?
You will. If you're okay with it, that's all you have to do, there's really no other.
That's what we have to just say, okay?
Yeah.
Is that?
Actually, you didn't have to do anything. If you
Okay.
just said to me it was okay, you guys kind of said you wanted to slow it down and talk about it.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's just a purchase. I mean, administratively, we would have went out and purchased it.
Okay. So I guess
This is the new system for the court and the sound improvements, and then the videos, potential projectors, TVs, a couple of those is the capital.
Correct.
Okay, gotcha. Just-
Okay,
Jeff,
so,
I just want to make sure I haven't done the math yet on these totals, but we're not with any bid threshold?
No, state contract on all of it.
State contract on
Actually,
all of it? Okay.
we're probably going to be doing a national contract with it.
National.
It's actually cheaper than the state contract.
Understood, so
But
make
we
sure.
still have to go through that process. And we've already joined that consortium for that national contract.
okay, so, okay. Okay. Okay,
So are we not going to do a resolution to authorize these
Already
purchases?
did.
Or we already did it on the resolution?
Last year, right?
The money's in place. I'm going to come back to them. I want to just double check that there's enough to do that upgraded system and the camera. If there is, I'll come back and I'll get whatever authorization we need.
So we have authority, and if you need additional, you'll come back to the council. Okay, understood, thank you.
okay. All right, great. So, we've done the agenda. We have one thing that will be an executive session, or several things, 4 things. So let's do what we do before that, and then we'll get to what has to be done in executive session. So We'll get reports, starting with Jamie. Anything tonight? No report. Jeff, you have anything for open?
Just two items, obviously, there's a lot of branches down, so we're gonna have public works going out and working overtime as much as the next couple of days, and probably the next Saturday, every day we can get them after, add a couple hours to try to get, it's not gonna catch up, but it'll take a hit out of it. And then secondly, we have tax bills going out,
They'll be printed by this Friday.
Yeah, this
and
week,
you can
yeah.
expect them the 30th.
and then the date for collection will get extended to the 26th.
It's either the 25th or
25th
26th.
or 26th, we'll put it on the website. But usually it would be the 10th, but they were late. Again, this year, everything either comes late from the state.
As long as it's later, people will be happier.
You still got stormwater notice in there?
Check.
Yeah.
The what?
There's a notice being included for stormwater, information. When are they going out, Friday? Sam? Start.
I think the bills are being printed, I think now, and they're going to the person that, like, stuffs them and sends them.
Okay,
On Friday.
yeah, we gotta make sure you do that. Jerry usually isn't.
I'll check.
Anything else, Jeff?
That's all I have.
Okay. Jim, you have anything?
No, just real quick, we submitted all our DOT grant applications for the bikeway, safe streets to transit, and municipal aid for due last Friday, so they were submitted, and hopefully we'll find out in a few months. Usually pretty good at getting the municipal aid, and hopefully we'll get more money on the other two. Other than that, I just, for the executive,
Okay.
I have comments.
I have some questions for you in executive too.
Okay.
Coincidentally, you weren't here last night, but someone asked if we had ever considered putting sidewalks on Bridgeboro Road. And I said,
We went for it all the time.
we've applied for grants in the 10 of the last 11 years, I think, if not more. So,
Yeah, Bridge Road's tough, at the stream crossing,
Yeah.
at the same spot.
yeah, yeah.
And it's a county road, so why don't we go try to reach out to the freehold?
The county doesn't do sidewalks at all.
Right,
Okay.
so,
What else don't they do?
so,
I don't wanna
It's
do-
just
I
a
don't wanna
very
do the list.
expensive, I hate to say it, it's just a very expensive project for
Right.
a limited run of sidewalk. I mean, I understand.
Yeah, but it is a major safety issue.
I understand, I'm just saying
So-
it's,
so-
you have to basically put, you're not putting in a sidewalk, you're putting in a pedestrian footbridge.
And I've been for that for ages, and unfortunately, we haven't gotten anything. But I'm gonna tell you, maybe we'll talk to the freeholders about it and see, maybe something changed on them. But whatever.
okay, that's it. Good. Alan, you have anything?
Nothing until executive.
Okay. Tom, you have any report tonight?
Yeah, we had a call, Tyler, brought me up to speed on, and it is an issue, I've had to deal with it myself. The Grand and Castleton, where it comes out onto the Grand, their sight lines are really bad for people to make turns left or right. And it looks like, I noticed there's a lot of vans that park right along there. We're not talking about minivans. They're basically work-type vans, and a lot of them actually look the same. And they don't have commercial tags. I don't know if somebody's running a business and they park all their vans there, but when you come out of there and try to make a left or a right, because you come down on Hartford Road, it's the sight lines, and then the other way. So there's been some concerns from the residents in there, if we could do anything, and maybe if we could take a look at, like we've done in other areas, where we put no parking for X amount of feet to where the intersection is.
Right.
Paint the street yellow, put up a sign, no parking here to curb, and maybe open it up a little bit. And I don't know, I don't think it's the Delran PD's place to go investigating whether people should have commercial tags or not. I don't know anybody that works at DMV, how we would go and actually, I guess that's something that the state would have to do or whatnot. I'm gonna go by there a few times, because they're very similar vans, and they're all parked there. It's like,
I know
it's either
exactly.
coincidence, or somebody's got a business.
What I think it is, I think people live on the ones behind it, and they're parking their whatever, I don't know if it's the
Yeah.
work vans or whatever, on that side, because that's where they park, because the parking is
Yeah.
not good in that whole development
And
there.
my guess, I
So
would.
that's gonna be the,
Yeah, and my thing is, if there's 7 vans parked there that are all similar, and they're all registered to the same person, one would think they're most likely should be commercial, commercial
Yeah.
tags, I mean, but I think we need to at least look at bagging those cars
I'll have the
off.
chief take a look at
Yeah.
it. make
Yeah,
sure.
that's definitely,
yeah, they're definitely on there.
because an investigatory,
Yeah, I come through there, and I know you really have to inch out and be careful, because I go left. Either way.
Well, they're all along there.
Yeah,
They
you have
park
to
all
just
over.
be
But they
careful.
also do it along Summerhill Drive,
Yes, yes.
going out when you're going out to Hartford.
Yep.
On the right-hand side, but it's people, and I've seen trucks, box trucks.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
But we did have some complaints from that area, and I've lived it myself, it is a little bit dangerous, and you can take a look at it. Appreciate it. Other than that, good.
thanks, Tom. Tyler, anything
No
tonight?
report tonight. Thank you, Darren.
Virginia,
No report.
a report? Mike?
I just want to thank Jeff and the police department and Public Works for getting out so quickly last night in the storms. The minute the winds hit, the police presence was immediate at Tempe Chase and Haynes Mill, where the road was blocked off in both locations. Haynes Mill's still blocked off, and they're still working on that, Jeff, I guess. And then I know that the house got hit by a tree, but they were out there all,
Yeah.
last night. Checked after the meeting, so I want to thank them for their quick response, and hopefully it's all right.
Okay, thanks. So, the only thing I have by way of a report was, just wanted to thank everyone for all the effort put in for last night's meeting, where we had a public meeting that explained the COA situation, start to finish, and the residents that came out had great questions. It was an excellent meeting. I think that we were able to distribute information and gather some information. I know that there was a spot where the camera stopped working, and Jamie was able to quickly fix it. There's a little bit of a gap. We're going to try to see if we can't get at least the audio to bridge that gap, so that that meeting is available as one video and in its entirety, and that'll be as quickly as we can figure that all out. That's really all I have for a report.
Can I just add, I think you handled the meeting very well, and you did a really
Oh,
good job.
thank you, thank you. It was, we all did a lot of preparation for that, and the questions were, the vast majority of the questions were thoughtful and recognized what could have been and what it ended up being, and, we're forward thinking, so it was a great meeting.
Garrett, just to tag on to that as well, can we put up, maybe on the website, the PowerPoint that you had with the video, maybe on one page, just, I know some
Yeah.
folks were,
Yeah, we'll.
weren't there, were interested in the presentation, I think we should share.
Well, I think what would be easiest, rather than put it up as a video, I think we can put it up as a PDF.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I'll send that to you. I can create that and send it to you as a PDF, that way it doesn't get inked up. Sometimes you get, different computers don't have the same fonts and the like. Sure, we can do that. Ken, you have anything for us tonight?
Yeah, I have a couple things. First of all, I want to recognize a couple people who had passed recently. I want to pass my sympathy and sorrow to Mayor Joe Stelwag and Helen Stelwag, because their daughter had passed away suddenly recently. And I also want to send my condolences to Mrs. Jane Orff. Her husband, Ed Orff, a great guy, passed away about 2 weeks ago. And he was a guy who gave several years, I think it was almost 40 years on the fire department, as well as he was a coach for Little League, and just a great guy. He was part of the seniors group, and I just want to send my condolences to both families. The other thing I do, by the way, I also want to support you in what you had said regarding our emergency services last night. They did a fantastic job. There was a lot of issues that were going on through the town, and they were very prompt and right out there and involved with every one of them. So I do appreciate that as well, of our police, fire, and emergency crew. Also, the other thing I wanted to mention is I know that we are putting money out for the Delran night out. And I know that we have accounts. I have the Delran Day account, which I put together a long time ago from vendors contributing. I know there was $11,000, I believe, in there.
Just about.
I'm just gonna say one thing. I know we were hit with, not hit with, but came in our budget. We were asked for $18,000. We revised that to up it to $27,000. Which I think is plenty for the event, but I'm just gonna say that $11,000, I'm okay with you guys using it, like I said. But if we dip into it, I'd like to see it get replenished for future events, because right now, I mean, I think if we use all that money and we don't replenish it, then you're gonna have to do something. I don't know how you're gonna get money for events in the future. So I just wanted to mention that.
Okay, thank you. So, I'm going to ask for a motion to open the public.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. So we have all three of our members of the public. If you have any comments or questions, you know the drill. Ahead.
Yes.
State your name and address for the record.
Louis Hayner, and I'm at 23 Frack Avenue, Delran. Now that street, we've been discussing this for years. 10 is really bad now. The little house on the right-hand side, right? They put siding on half of it about a year ago, right? Now the siding's ripped off. There's all kind of junk in the back. They must dump concrete and whatever they used it for a warehouse like or something. You know, mini storage shed.
Is this the one that we had issues with before with the hot tub in the back, or the pool in the?
No, that was, I think.
That was a different one, okay. I
Yeah.
just wanna make sure where you were at.
There's one, that one there is the first one, on the right-hand side coming off of Fairview.
Gotcha.
Right? Which has to be addressed. The grass is bad there too, right?
Okay.
I mean, bad. All the way back bad, like you look back there and it's, looks like a jungle, you know what I mean? And on the other side of the street's the same thing, a couple of houses. Now, they did come over and fixed, I think it was 21. Jerry had people out there last week, and Jay did a hell of a nice job there. But that's all you have to do is get, you know, somebody out there to do this and get it over with. Here's what I'm still foggy on this. If I sign a complaint against to get this done, is it my understanding it takes 30 days?
What's the third one?
Basically, it takes about that long, yeah.
Yeah, but that's,
I mean, it
see,
depends.
that maybe can we adjust that somehow? Because guess what? 30 days, the summer's gone.
Let Jeff finish, go ahead.
Yeah, it depends on, again, how the meetings fall as well, is the way the ordinance is written, and it was shortened a number of years ago, but it's probably not as short as it can be, is that you've got to provide a notice to the resident, that's usually, I think, 15 days, to give them an opportunity to cut it, usually by certified mail, and that's what Jerry went through on like 19 Frack tonight. And then gets an estimate from the vendor. If he doesn't get a response, he gets an estimate from the vendor, and then comes back to council and gets an authorization to move forward. So it takes a while.
Jeff,
Yeah, see, that's what
Well,
I'm saying, maybe there should be a way to adjust other towns.
Well, we have the attorney here.
So wait, a minute. So we, hang on, Tyler. So it used to take a lot longer.
Right.
We did 2 or 3, yeah.
Yeah.
So what happened would be, you have a complaint, Jeff would bring it to council, council
Right.
would authorize Jerry to send a letter,
Right.
we took that out, then we took the next step out. And now it's to the point where the only thing that we're involved with
Right.
is actually authorizing it, because we have to put a lien on the house, and I believe that we need to have the authority to do that. Or we're the ones that have the authority to put a lien on the house,
That's correct.
not Jerry. So that process is as short as it used to be, 3 months. It
Yeah,
would take just the whole summer.
That's the whole summer. In other words, I can't sit outside because Johnny Jones don't cut his grass. There's bugs, and with all the building that's going to go on, guess what? You have places like that, guess where these like say you start tearing up behind Holy Cross, just to, right?
Yep.
The animals that are there, they're gonna find another place to go. So these things gotta be addressed before this happens, not, oh geez, here we are, and, look, you got the deer and every other thing running around back here, groundhog. That, you know what I mean? That's what my issues are with this kind of stuff is, why should, they know that, these people know that, all right, so, if just use 10 as an example. If he's smart enough, he can juggle them days around where he don't have to cut that grass at all. Because, oh, okay, I'll do a little bit, and then, 30 more days you got.
Well,
By then, the summer's over, and I'm sitting there looking at mosquitoes and bugs and who knows what else, you know?
Well, I disagree. I would think if he's authorized to cut it, he's gotta cut it in the entirety, and if not.
That's
it
what they
gets-
should do, yeah.
Well, I'm sure they go out and check that.
Yeah, that's what we gotta get on top of all that. Like, they did a real good job with the house that I was complaining
Right,
about.
I
for
remember,
years.
right.
Like, but now they really came in there and did a good job last, I think it was Friday or Saturday, one of them did. And, Jay came there with all the machinery you need, not, weed whacker. He had
He got
big-
authorized to do it, and that's why he was out there doing it.
That's what we gotta do, because then that solves
Just
that
like that.
problem.
We just authorized this one tonight.
So,
What-
are you
what one is
making
that,
it-
19?
That was 19.
Is that right on the main, right in front, or?
I don't-
I complained about 10, and the one
So-
across the street that's been a
Are you
eyesore
making a
for
complaint
years.
tonight about 10 officially?
Yeah, the other day when I came in to say goodbye to Jerry, and thank him for getting the thing done and all that jazz, but, he was gone.
Right, so we'll look into 10.
Look into 10 and look into the one next to it, which is, I think it's 14, but there's no sign out. They should have a number on their house, right? For emergencies.
You should.
That way you know what you're dealing with. I
Right.
mean,
So it's
But-
the house next to 10.
the house next to 10. That's been an eyesore for years and years. So's 10. Since I've been there, nobody lived there. And I've been there about 15 years.
That's the 10 and the one next to 10.
Was that
Okay.
12?
All right.
He doesn't know there's another
No,
number on it.
There's
House
no
one.
number on it.
That's okay, we'll look at it.
Who would be my, like councilman for that area? Can you,
Is that Ward 2?
Well,
I'm at
Where's that?
23 Frack.
Frack. Where's
Two.
Frack?
I think it's 2.
Yeah, that would be.
I'm thinking it's me.
Okay,
Because
that's
what I would say
So
is,
what-
as soon as,
Meet your councilman representative, Tom Lyons.
as soon as the
Who's
spring
that, Tom
hits,
Ryan?
as soon as the spring hits and the grass starts growing, put a complaint in if it.
Yeah, it's
Because
unbelievable.
if you see on these, basically, it's $150 to cut this 19 frack, and then $50 every bi-weekly, and that, it goes a lien against the house.
That's what they should do.
We are doing that, we are doing
That's what
that.
we're doing.
If it was me, if I gave you a warning once, say you were in violation, come out, cut the grass, right? The next time somebody complains, it better be done in 5 days. It's like, they can prolong the thing a long time.
Once this goes into place, you
Yeah.
get the initial cut, and then every 2 weeks, we're going out and cutting it.
That's it. That's what should happen.
Well, that's what is happening
Okay.
on 19,
All right.
and that's what's gonna happen on the other ones
I'm
too.
just, good.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get the situation.
That's
See, that's just-
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr. Hayner, I have bad news and good news. The bad news is, Tom is not your council person.
Oh.
You're in Ward 1. Virginia's your council.
Oh, Virginia.
But I'm still.
I talked to both, I don't care,
Tom's running, I mean,
All right,
So-
that way I have somebody to call in between. I'm not a complainer,
I was gonna say.
but it's just, I'm trying to get the thing done.
It's the other side of,
All right.
it's the other side of Fairview. that
Okay,
is-
but anyhow, yes, we are looking into both properties. We'll make sure that they're addressed, and we will follow up. If it is brought here, it'll follow the same process as what Councilman
The
Lyons
guy's
mentioned.
building a heck of a nice house next to 10. Is that guy, where there's a permit now.
Okay.
That's not, there's no problem with that. That guy's doing,
Good.
it's after that.
Well, see that?
You'll
we got-
know it.
Yeah.
There's no numbers on these
Okay.
houses, so you don't know. But,
Okay,
that's my only complaints. I mean, all I want is The darn
You
thing
keep a very
down.
nice property and you want your area around you to
All
be
the-
that, kept
That's
nice.
it, I keep mine,
Gotcha.
I don't expect nobody to go out there.
I know that.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But,
Okay.
I'm
Very
out there
good.
working all the time, and what am I, you know, I'm looking like an idiot, like, you know what I mean? But whatever,
All right.
so.
Thank you, Mr. Hayner.
All right.
Appreciate that.
Enough of that.
PJ, anything for us tonight?
Not tonight.
Not tonight, no report tonight?
No.
No comment?
All this time on this side.
Okay, so, since we have no additional questions or comments from the public, I ask for a motion to come out of public.
So moved.
Second, that was Tyler. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, motion carries, we're back in a regular session, I need a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, we're gonna do a quick break and then,